Welcome back to the yard. For those of you that have been following the Hugelkultur beds that I built last year, if you watch the video, you know we've harvested mustards and turnips out of it all through the winter. So I just culled all that. And our Hugelkultur bed did pretty good. As you can see, it has sunk quite a bit. So today we're going to clean it out and we're going to refurbish it. But first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and pull all my water lines out of it. I do use some drip irrigation. Then we're going to rake all the stuff off the top of it and get down in it. I'm very happy with the production of this bed over the winter. I didn't even let it sit for 3 months after I put it together that was suggested. And it did quite well on the greens. We're going to plant some cucumbers and probably some squash and probably some green beans in this bed. I got these little pieces of bricks just to help me keep my hose where I want it. Now we're going to rake it out. At this point, looking, if you were concerned if you looked at my video about the pressure treated wood and you put plastic in it, I believe the plastic's still good enough you can get another year out of it. I don't think you'd have to dig all this out and change it. That wasn't my purpose. My purpose was to help it keep from bleeding water through the side. I don't worry about the pressure treatment. I dip snuff and drink beer and my hands are in gas all day from chainsaws and stuff, so that's not really a concern for me. I got a lot of other problems I'd rather have to worry about. But if you were worried about that and you did use it and you use that bear, I think you could get another year out of it with no problem without changing it before you do through to your pressure treated. You can see I do have some grass coming up in here because I used stuff out of my soil. We're going to pick that out in just a minute before we start breaking it up. I just want to get all this out of here. A lot of this is mulch I put in here to help suppress weeds, and some of this is stuff that just fell out of my trees. But we want to get it cleaned up best we can. So at this point, I pretty much got the top of the bed clean. Now you'll see me in a lot of my videos around other plants out on my trails using Roundup. I don't use Roundup or Roundup used products around my vegetables. So at this point, I'll pick as much weeds as I can out of this. I'll just reach in here and pick them out. That's another beauty of them raised beds. You're not bent over on the ground. Now, since I have the pleasure here of my beds being new and still settling, I want to add some composted material in here. It's not really going to be heavily composted, but you want to add something to your bed. So I don't have to take nothing out to do that. So I'm just going to take my stiff tooth rake and just break up the top little bit of soil. I ain't got to really get that deep because I'm going to add some stuff and mix in. But we just want to loosen it up, make some really softer dirt for those newer plants that we're fixing to put in. And we're going to do that all through the bed. Break the whole bed of it. And I'll just pull it all up and keep chopping it and then level it out. We got our bed broke up again, and at this point you could use topsoil, you could use cow manure. I've got some leaf mold. Not the best thing in the world, but it will work. I'm gonna just mix it into my soil, get everything leveled back out. That'll replenish some nutrients. We're trying to get away slowly from using fertilizers, chemical fertilizers. We're gonna still use a few here, but we're gonna try to get away from it, and herbicides. Try to eat a little more healthy. And I'm gonna just use my pitchfork and my stiff tooth rake for that, and just mix it in. Now, as far as how much?
There's an orange worm in it.
Good. I guess you just have to read on your cow manure bag or whatever you're using. My beds are 4x8. If I was using bag manure, I'd probably cut in about 6 bags. Using the type of sand that I'm using. If you had filled your beds with a quality compost stuff, I'd probably cut that back to about 2 to 3 bags. I'm gonna put one more load of this in here, and then we're gonna mix it all in good. So now we're just gonna chop our organic material into our bed. Now I didn't screen this, so I got a few big pieces that was in the pile. And just mix it all up. Mix it good as you go. And just get that organic material down into your bed and just work it in. So now that we got our organic material mixed in, we're just gonna level our bed and pick out all our big sticks. And you could do every bit of this with a small tiller. As I told you before, I like to garden with my hands and basic hand tools. It helps me just kind of relax and work out stress. And when you work with the public, you got stress. Or you're on drugs, one of the two. All right, we got our bed leveled out. Let's talk about it a minute. So we got all our organic materials in our bed. We got our bed pretty much leveled out. At this point, I'm gonna replant something, and then I'm gonna wait for it to pop up and I'm gonna mulch around it. If you're not gonna immediately replant, you put your mulch or your organic stuff in ahead of time, I would suggest at this point cover the bed with some mulch, some pine straw, something like that. But other than that, we're ready to go here. We're ready to put some stuff in the dirt. I'm gonna have a video on that shortly. I'm excited. We grew some turnips and some mustards in here throughout the winter, fall and winter. We got some onions over in the other bed. We're gonna plant some cucumbers and some green beans here, so be looking for that video. Like always, I appreciate y'all joining me here in the yard. I'll be looking forward to seeing you throughout the year. We're fixing to kick off a pile of videos. See you back.